I think we're ready now. How is the sound, guys? If you're listening to us, let us know. I have these pleasure to be talking to these two amazing people, the bachata icons. How do you identify yourself right now as dancers, instructors, business people, influencers? Because you do so much from what I see in the social media.
Can you guys
That's a
hear
good
me?
question. I would say all of the above, in a sense. I mean, I don't think we've ever really considered ourselves to just be dancers in this community. I do consider ourselves to be educators, um, you know, entrepreneurs, innovators. So a mix of all of that, I guess.
Hmm. What do you think, Tanya? Can you hear us, Tanya? Yes, you there?
I can hear you
I don't
on the
hear you on
computer. You
Instagram.
can't hear me.
Tanya, try to disconnect Bluetooth on your computer. Maybe your earphones have connected with the laptop. I know.
Hold on. Let's see.
Oh my God, we got so many people watching us, commenting. You guys are really a beloved couple of everyone. Just my favorite couple. Saludos desde
What's up,
Venezuela.
everybody? What's up, everybody?
Mm, how are we doing, Tanya? We don't know what's happening, right? We don't know why we cannot hear you.
I can't hear.
Um,
So if you
I
can,
I
think,
yeah.
Tanya, you're gonna have to. I mean, make sure that you're not connected because your AirPods might be connected to your laptop. So you just have to make sure to disconnect that completely. Make sure you're connected to your iPhone first, and do not connect. It might be connecting automatically to your laptop.
Yeah, what I do is I turn off the Bluetooth on my laptop just in case, because sometimes it automatically takes me there. Um, okay, yeah, go sign out and we bring you back in maybe on Instagram. Sorry guys, we always try to prepare and something always happens like this. 1 second, let me invite Tanya again. All right.
yes.
There she is.
Yay! Oh my God,
Oh
I'm
my
so
God,
relieved.
technology. Jesus, I need an
Hi Tanya.
assistant.
Uh, okay, where do we start, guys? I met you in 2009 when you were dancing the famous bachata routine, and it was actually in Bachaturo. Hello, Arthur, and in the Round Club, right? In Warsaw. Remember, there was like a fountain in the middle.
Yeah,
Remember
that
that
kind of
place?
danced around.
Yeah, that one. And you've gone such a long way since then. You're Jorge. You've been doing Hollywood productions. You guys are huge influencers. You have huge reach on Instagram. Dancers, instructors. How did that happen? I'm sure a lot of people admire this and they would like to be there. How do
Alemana.
you do that?
Oh, I thought the question was to you.
So I guess for me personally, I mean, let's start with the movie stuff because the music stuff
Yeah.
obviously is both of us. The movie stuff was obviously something that um, just kind of fell on my lap. I was extremely lucky. It was definitely something I had always envisioned in doing. I just never really
Mhm.
believed it was going to either one be possible without going to acting classes or auditioning on a regular basis. Especially with and then without leaving the dance scene. But long story short, I was in an after party celebrating a Tigre's birthday, and Tanya's giving everyone shots with Bianca and all of our ladies. I'm on the microphone animating everybody, and the director of the movie, Tony Nardilillo, he was looking for his lead actor, who he wanted to be Puerto Rican, a salsero, and someone that could control the crowd. And obviously, he saw that in me. Obviously, with the microphone, asked me to audition. Told me if I, asked me if I've ever auditioned before. I said no. Have you ever acted before? No. Give me the script. I learned it and I got the part. So, bottom line, like I tell people all the time, like those that obviously strive to be actors, I respect heavily their craft and what they do. I just got really really blessed with an amazing opportunity. So I got to do that. Would I do another one? Yes. I just would not leave this world for that world. I just love this world so much. But if there was an opportunity to coexist both worlds, I would definitely want to try it one more time, at least one more time. So that's how the whole acting thing came in.
And what happened after? How has this experience changed you, or where has it taken you? Has it
Um,
taken you to a new place?
I mean, I would say just the continued addition of beautiful experiences to this dance world, right? Like I think when me and Tanya came into this world, the goal was to experience everything and anything possible that we can obtain. Obviously we'll get into a little bit more, but as a couple who started off as salsa, the couple, and then transition this to bachata, all we wanted to do was just obtain what our normal goal, our like original goals were. We travel the world, be dancers, learn from our icons and stuff like that. So, as being able to do that as bachateros, obviously we're blessed. So, I think it's definitely a blessing. I put that, and that's something I will always carry with me, especially it being a salsa movie. That's also very important to me. It's not like I just did some random action movie. No, like I did a salsa movie. That's, I think, why it makes it so special. So yeah, I'm just truly blessed to have been a part of such an amazing project, a beautiful message, and yeah,
Jorge,
always hold that
amazing
here.
salsero. I don't know if people know this in Europe. I'm sure in the States, you guys have been there for a long time, but he is an amazing dancer. I love dancing salsa with you. Not just yeah. We have Instagram is going crazy. Thank you guys for sending all the love. You guys have your huge love and following. Everybody's missing the best dancers. How are you different from the bachata that we have in Europe? What did you bring to the table that's different?
You
I
got
think
it.
I don't know. I'm just gonna give my opinion, but
I'll
Yeah.
give mine after.
I feel like with our bachata, the way that we dance, it is. I think it's a mixture of traditional, of modern, of sensual. I feel like since 2008, since we put out the first choreography, it's always been that mix. We've both
Mhm.
been salsa dancers, so including that salsa fusion as far as the turn patterns are concerned. I feel like our style is what I feel a healthy fusion of all these
Mhm.
different styles that we like, that we enjoy. And that's kind of what we do. I think that's like the easiest way to explain it.
All right. Someone is asking here, what's the name of the movie, Jorge? The one
so
you
it's
were
called
mentioning.
so it's called Shine. If you go on Amazon Prime, or just Google Shine the movie 2018. It's good to put Shine the movie because there's also another movie. It's called Shine. So just to have it clear, Shine the movie 2018, and then you'll notice in the cover picture. So I think Amazon Prime, it's available. It has had some issues in regards to distribution, outside of the country. It went to Europe for a little bit. I don't think it went down to South America too much, but you can definitely find it in the USA. You can definitely find it for sure.
We can mention later a link. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Make sure it's
Yeah, go
2018. But there is another Shine the movie from like 97, and it's not the same.
Mm-hmm.
ahead. We can maybe post a link or something later, so
Yeah,
everybody
100%.
is
Yeah,
not.
yeah, yeah, hundred
Yeah.
percent.
Um, the reason why we're talking and connecting is because Jorge and Tanya are coming to El Sol festival now in November. And it's been 3 years we haven't seen each other because of the pandemic. So, what has changed for you guys in your career, or maybe your reflections or your plans? How has COVID influenced you? And yeah, I'm curious.
Ladies
Not everybody
first.
at the same time.
Beautiful, beautiful ladies first. Come on.
I think for me, as far as like my career choices, COVID and the quarantine definitely put things into perspective and gave me different priorities and the ability to start focusing on different goals that I also have. I love to dance and I love to teach, but there's additional goals that I want to have, that I want to achieve in my life. So starting with that, obviously for this year, for me, it's balls to the wall, like go as hard as we can without losing my mental health because that's very, very important for me. And I was losing that, a couple of years ago. And so this year, just going as hard as we can. And then next year for myself, definitely toning down a bit, traveling a little bit less and trying to focus on more local work because teaching is what I love. It's my passion. So I definitely want to teach until I can't anymore. I don't want to travel for a living anymore that much. So that's the thing that I'm going to gracefully bow out of eventually. But
I'm
yeah, so
sure. I'm sure this is a very sad message to all of your overseas fans, but of course we understand you guys are human.
yeah, and it's not like a forever goodbye either. I mean, the good thing is we live in an age of technology to where I can still be in touch with everybody. They can still take classes online. And I'm not saying I'm never going to go to an event again. I definitely do want to, tone it down just for myself. I have different goals, different focuses, my health that I want to focus on. So for me, the Congress scene, I'm slowly moving away from. But again, I'm doing local work and I want to, have a studio or at least teach at a studio more regularly, and have that clientele and that base for myself, as well as, some other additional goals like a book and, different things. So, yeah.
Amazing, amazing. It's I was talking to Kara yesterday, and she was also mentioning health issues that are connected to the traveling and so on. And I think we don't realize how much toll it takes to be all over the world all the time.
Right.
There are a lot of comments here. One is asking, one person is asking, what's your favorite bachata song to dance to?
Mine is Burbujas de Amor, Juan Luis Guerra.
That's a
Mm-hmm.
nice one. Yeah, that's nice. I don't think I have like a favorite song. I think my artist, I love Toby Love, even though he's no longer in bachata. I think he's probably like my number one favorite artist. I like the R&B sound um, in bachata for myself. I love all bachata, but if I'm asked what my preference is, because I grew up more on R&B music, American music, I
Mm-hmm.
tend to prefer more that R&B sound in bachata
Mm-hmm.
as well. Yeah, so I don't have a favorite song though.
Mm-hmm. Where is your favorite place to go to when you guys are on tour? And what's your favorite song? I asked. Okay, favorite place to go to on tour.
I mean, I love Italy. Any excuse to get out to Italy for me. Everything from the dance scene. I love the dance scene there. I love the food. I love the culture. I love the fashion. So I like it, Italy for sure.
Okay. There's a question for Alemana. Is there any place on earth where you don't feel confident?
Is there any place on earth that I don't feel
And time when you don't feel confident?
I don't anytime that I don't feel confident. Yeah, of course. Of course I have times where I don't feel confident. I can't say specific. I mean, for me it's if I'm in a situation like in groups of people, I don't
Mhm.
necessarily feel comfortable or confident, especially if it's in an area that I'm not familiar with. So, like, if it's like a networking event or something, I'm like, "Ugh."
Mhm.
But when it comes to dance, I'm like 100%. But outside of dance, I definitely have my insecurities or discomfort.
Mhm. Okay. Thank you for sharing. How about you, Jorge? How has your attitude to dance or to what you do changed throughout the pandemic, if at all?
Um, yeah, I mean, I think it's I think we get to a point where we realize that the old norm doesn't exist, and we're all trying to kind of figure out what this new norm is going to be, which is in a sense kind of exciting. We've seen, I know myself and Tanya have seen a lot of different things, even just kind of travel, getting back into the traveling, a lot of excited people. Definitely the dance level has changed a lot. In certain events, we've definitely noticed that the dance level is a little bit lower because there's a lot of newer, like there's a lot of new people. And unfortunately, pandemic pushed a lot of, I guess, weather dancers kind of away from the scene, and just kind of they said, what, this is an opportunity for me to explore different, different avenues, relationships,
Mhm.
etc. So it's definitely a new scene. Again, for us as instructors, it's not a bad thing. It's just something great to be, just knowledgeable of, right? For me personally, I think after pandemic, obviously we took our break. Like Alemana said, balls to the wall, 100%. Our goal this year is to go, 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 go. Um, I had created a solo show by accident. It was definitely with no intentions whatsoever. It was actually a routine that I had choreographed for one of my Shines teams. And then when Alemana and Tigre saw it, they were like, that you need to dance that yourself. And I was like, but I don't know if I want to do a solo show. and they were like, "No, this is your show." And it just so happened that when I kept that show, there was an opportunity for me to go, to an event by myself. And from there, the videos went up and then more invitations started. So I've actually been traveling a little bit by myself, on those weekends that Alemana needs to stay at home and focus on her dance studio and all the other works that she's doing. So that's been kind of cool, a new venture. But I would say definitely one more year hardcore, just go, 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 go. And then really just kind of assess where we're at. Myself and Tigre's, goal and what we really want is, Tanya's always wanted a studio since the beginning, since when we first had a studio. And there just hasn't been the right time. And I think this is a good time for her to really explore that. I'll be honest with you. I'm not a big studio guy. I did that. That was my thing before. But right now we're supporting 100%, Tanya's efforts and wanting to open up an Island Touch dance studio. Obviously, we're all going to be a part of it. But I know that's always been a goal for her, and we support that and we push that. Me, I feel like on top of obviously helping out Tanya with the studio, I do want to stay present in the events. I too also don't want to travel every single weekend. I've kind of been past that. I'm good with doing 2 to 3 weekends a month. I think if there's anything that I've really, really obtained from pandemic is appreciation of time and appreciation of family. And I think I'm really, really focused on just maximizing the amount of time that I can with my mom, my dad, my dog, Tanya, Tigre, Bianca. Like, these are the people that mean the most to me in my life. And the reality is I really want to start putting, more balance in my life and more priority to the things that are most important in my life. When, unfortunately, for the longest, myself and Tanya, not a bad thing, but we're just putting so much priority on dance, which has helped us get to where we are. But I think now we're at a point where we realize and we look at each other and we're like, look, we've done a lot. Now let's start balancing out personal lives and dance. And I think that's definitely really helped both of us out. I think feel more, more enthused in continuing in our paths, not just in dance, but also just in life in general.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's good that you've achieved so far. You're so accomplished. You can now use it in different directions. We have a lot of questions for you, Jorge. Like, how many hats do you own?
A lot. How about this? The best answer to that is I've run out of wall space. I don't have any more walls to put hats in. I've had to start like bunching them up and now putting them aside because I just don't have enough space. So I definitely have a good amount. But hey, it's definitely something that is part of my brand. I really enjoy, having hats. So between hats, my suits, and my shoes, I have a lot of decor in my house. So I'm good.
I'm sure Tanya has more shoes anyway than you have hats. No.
No. That's the crazy part. He has more clothes, more shoes, more hats, more accessories. Like, yeah. I don't have a lot, but he's got a lot.
Yeah, I got a good amount.
Another question: when is Merengue coming to the forefront?
I mean, we did our newest show, the show that we're going to be doing actually in your festival, has a mix. It's a mixed bachata, mixed merengue. So we've been doing
merengue too.
Oh, for sure.
There was an interesting question. People are writing so much. I don't want to interrupt you guys. I'm sorry, guys, for not reading all the questions. I'm just gonna read those that are very specific. Tanya, you got a lot of compliments on hair, on your looks, or you guys are receiving so much love here. Thank you. Alemana, when you sang with the group Touch, I want you to know it was amazing.
Thank you.
And then we had a question about bachata music. I'm trying to find it. Why isn't there live bachata music at events? What do you think? I
mean, I would say that, there's fear, I think, at this point in regards to promoters because, one, there's a handful of promoters still recuperating losses from pandemic. When it comes to hotels that they might have already had paid for, et cetera, et cetera. So I do believe that there's a good amount of promoters that are trying to stay safe and trying to just, recuperate whatever they lost in the past. Two, obviously, we have to understand that what did we have during pandemic? Nothing but just listening to music and just more people. Great for the music in regards to obtaining more knowledge in different artists, et cetera, et cetera. This is why we believe that traditional bachata thrived during pandemic because people were just being exposed to so much music. As far as why it's not being used right now, for me, the only answer is it's just too fresh. It's too fresh right now for people to go heavy, heavy, heavy on such a big expense. Because the reality is these artists have value and they deserve to charge
Yeah.
what they charge.
I actually had Kevin Cosmos booked for 2020. It was confirmed, contract signed and everything. But then obviously the pandemic came, and it was we still can't do this because it's such a huge expense. We're trying to build up slowly again. And yeah, you're right. Actually, the question is, why don't bachata sensual dancers incorporate live bands? So I kind of misread it.
Wait, say that again. I think I kind of
Why don't bachata sensual dancers incorporate live bands?
like
Or how?
you mean the
Or
events, you mean?
I think maybe artists, the dancers, because you guys work with bands, and that maybe the bachata sensual dancers don't.
I mean, my opinion, a lot of, if we're talking bachata sensual singers, I mean, I think they all sing bachata, but if we want
Yeah,
to categorize it,
that doesn't
maybe like
exist.
maybe like Danny J or something like that. But
For
he
sure.
comes out to different festivals and he does
For sure.
the concerts. I think the issue, it's not even an issue, but a lot of these artists are single artists. They don't come with a band usually. The only band that I can really think of that travels together is Grupo Extra, and they go to events, but they also have their own concerts. They're extremely popular as a group when it comes to Europe or even in the DR. They're actually very, very successful. But that is like the only band I can think of that travels together. When we're talking Kevin Cosmos, Danny J, even Dania Santa Cruz, Esme, Mr. Don, Vinny Rivera, they are all solo artists
Mhm.
and they will do a
Yeah,
track show. But if you're looking for a full band, I would look for Grupo Extra. Other
yeah,
than
for
that,
sure.
you're going to get
Okay.
the single artist.
Yeah, I mean, I will say, and I had this conversation last night. I had a meeting with an artist manager, and one thing that sensual bachata dancers are are doing now, which is becoming a little bit more of a trend, is they're bringing artists that are at the festival. If they're connected to them, they're bringing them into their workshops, and having them sing. Like at the end, like during their demos and stuff. So I have seen that a lot because I do believe that the social dance demo is very, very heavily popular in the bachata, in the central bachata world.
Mhm.
So I guess that's a cool connection if they're able to convince some of these artists to come out for just the last little part of their class and sing live for them. That's a really cool little detail.
Alemana, I see you're starting your shield line. Can we expect more things to come?
Yeah, I think she meant shoe line, but yes.
Shield.
So I have,
Shoot.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I have shoes with Berjou that we've designed. I had a shoe years ago, but we're actually doing a full line where I have three different models, and I'm so excited about them. We dropped them in July. So yes, I have the shoes that are out, the heels that are very sexy, and there's more colors coming. So I'm really excited about that. I'm also starting to work with a jewelry company called Rhythm Jewelry. And we're going to be doing some Island Touch jewelry, some Alemana jewelry, and we're hopefully get some Ataca jewelry as well. So we're going to have some jewelry coming out. And that's like, and then also some possible partnering with clothing as well. So yeah, there's a couple of projects that are in the works, but I don't want to give too many details yet because nothing's like concrete. But yes, you can definitely expect a lot more things coming out.
Someone is asking if you guys are excited to come to Poland.
Of course.
You have
Very much so.
to say yes. I mean,
Very much so. I mean, your event's always been one of our favorite events, especially one Poland. This has nothing to do with any of the other promoters, but we've just always enjoyed it because one thing about your event is, and this is the beautiful thing is that your event and especially the artists that you bring, like they actually really respect me and Tanya, not just as bachateros but as salseros, and they love like honestly seeing some of these salsa artists, see us go into the salsa room and get excited to see us there. Like, that's a beautiful thing, you know what I'm saying? So I love being able to either be in the salsa room or bachata room and still feel like I'm accomplishing my goal as an artist for that weekend. So it's always great. And then obviously you have an amazing team. You've always treated us so well. So 100% looking forward to being back for sure, for sure.
Thank you for saying that. Well, my goal is generally the way I see El Sol is I love the diversity. I love all the dances. Lately, I got into the Kizomba community during COVID, so now I do also a lot of Kizomba and a lot of salsa. I don't have time to even go to the bachata floor, which is bad. I should be everywhere in my event, but I love the diversity and I love the options, and I want to give that to the people also. That they can. Every style develops you differently. It makes you more sensitive to certain details or teaches you different movements. I don't like to be just locked. I mean, I know that people want to kind of prioritize one style. They want to master one style, so we offer separate theme passes. Uh, but dance is one. If I could add zouk and West Coast swing and something else, I would do it. And make it even bigger. I love the options, and yeah. So
You're doing
you're
great.
yeah, Jorge, you're Puerto Rican, right?
I am.
Uh, yeah. So yeah, you're from the Salsa Island.
Yes, 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 yes.
Okay, let me read more comments. We have people asking when you're coming to Canada, to Toronto, to Italy, to Angola, hi from the Dominican Republic, from everywhere. Um,
I mean, the only
more,
answer that we can
yeah.
provide them is our heart wants to go everywhere that they're listing, literally. So I think it's gonna take some time. It's gonna take some time for everyone to kind of get back into the swing of things and start. Obviously, this is pretty much the breakout year, so we do hope to be able to attend certain countries that we've never been to, especially after pandemic. So, everyone just bear with
To
us.
Uruguay, someone is saying hi from Uruguay.
I
No,
don't believe we've been to Uruguay. No, not
Mhm.
yet.
not yet.
Oh, that's a place to go. Oh my God, I just got a bit distracted by all the questions. I gotta get my notes. Where were we? So, what are your plans for the future? Tanya said it's the studio, and for you, Jorge, your business plans for the future?
Um, yeah, for me, I'm definitely outside of just really hammering down. We got some amazing projects still lined up in the dance community wise. We've been we've been doing a lot of events in the Dominican Republic. We're building some really heavy, strong connections with really key players in the Dominican Republic. So that's one thing. On top of really one, elevating our events. Chicago Salsa Bachata Festival is our baby and is doing really well. Obviously, we have a new event that we're doing in the Dominican Republic that we foresee that to be an amazing time. That event in itself is a potential initiation for what could potentially be more events. So I think when it comes to events, we still want to do that. um I think, but me personally, outside of this, just the standard traveling, going to different events, et cetera, et cetera. There's a lot of work that I'm trying to do outside of the dance world. I'm getting involved into different, you know so many different things. One, I'm a co-owner of an air conditioning company with my best friend. I'm getting into NFT projects that I had meetings with yesterday and today. There's potential businesses that I'm doing within my family. I'm getting into real estate. There's just a lot of different things I'm getting into that now, like talking to you earlier, just kind of balancing my time and still devoting myself and my heart to dance, but just providing a little bit of extra time for just some, outside stuff that I've always enjoyed to do, just haven't been able to really dedicate a lot of time to.
I have an idea for you. I have a lot of questions here. How about you start a hat company? People are suggesting. It's not my idea.
Oh man, I mean, look, I'll be honest with you. It really isn't a bad idea, but as starting any new company is not easy, right? So I look at, again, the most important thing for me is time. I do love hats, and I have a passion for hats. And I also have a passion for helping out other businesses. And I'm in line right now with a business, my hat family. They're called Hats and Hats from Miami. they're a small business. They're amazing, beautiful people. So for me, it's like I just want to help them. I would just prefer just send them clientele and send them all the people, because one, they provide me amazing, beautiful hats that keep me happy and content. Now, for me to go out there and try and to build my own company, and it's not easy. People have to understand it. It's the same thing that people always tell us, like, start your own shoe line and start your own blazer line. It's like, guys, it's not easy. It is not. Those individuals that you see having shoe companies and having clothing companies, et cetera, et cetera, it is not easy. They have to start it from the ground up, and it takes time. So my goal now is I will always wear hats, and I'll always align myself with amazing, amazing businesses that will always be able to provide hats for everyone around the world.
Hmm. Thank you for sharing that. Matika is saying, I know you have a challenge now to get a room big enough for the workshops with Ataca Alemana. Sure. I mean, yeah, this year in Warsaw, and then next year, the venue that I have for 2023, when we're gonna move out of Warsaw, it's a massive space. It's the kind of Congress Center where you run the climate conference, the ONZ, the United Nations Climate Conference. So it's amazing space, and potentially for the future, instead of filling up with 5,000 people, I can go to 20,000 people, and I can make this the dance paradise. Not even Latin now, because Kizomba is African, so it's the exotic dance paradise in the middle of Central Eastern Europe. And
Sounds good. Sounds good to me. I like it.
it's a change. I didn't want that change because I had this perfect formula for the event. I had the perfect venue, but then just life just got up with me and forced me. But it's also an opportunity. So we have a future there, because here we were sold out, and then I was thinking, where do we go from here? Do we make the festival longer because we cannot make it bigger? We had the full capacity, and yeah. So I'm also excited about, scared as shit, but also excited.
It's all gonna be amazing.
Yeah, we're gonna have an absolute blast. Make sure, if you are not going to this festival, you are going to miss out on an amazing weekend. I saw your lineup. Yeah, the lineup is incredible. Amazing
We
artists.
actually get now a crowd from Puerto Rico. We have people from the US. We have people from Israel. We have people from Asia, from China, from Taiwan. So it really makes me proud, because who on earth would think that in the middle of Central Eastern Europe you're going to have such a massive Latin music event? You think maybe Berlin, or I don't know, Paris, Warsaw. But yeah.
I mean, I think that's just. I think that's just that there's a reason for the amount of years that you've put in all this hard work. There's a reason why not just us but other artists continue to tell each other how organized your event is, and how awesome it is, how great we enjoy it as artists, not just feeling like we're having to go there to work. So all that gets around, and then especially after pandemic, what's everyone looking for? The hottest events out there, and yours has been one of those for the longest. So it doesn't surprise me that these individuals from all over the world want to come to your festival, and that's exciting.
What since we're talking about my project now, just wanted to mention one thing that I really want to focus now on is I want to make sure that all the dance styles are on a very high level. Because from what I see, I've been around a bit last year. There is no project in Europe that would cater for salsa, bachata, kizomba on an equally high level. Usually they have one style dominating, like we always had salsa. And then the rest is kind of, it's not really the crowd, it's like an addition. But I really want to make sure it's like having plenty festivals in one, The bachata floor rocks. We have amazing dancers just on the dance floor. The level is super high. And now I also learned about the Kizomba community, when you need to really take care about balance and having an equal amount of leaders and followers. And then, of course, salsa is my life. So salsa, it's always the strongest point. But this is really my goal now. And I know, and I realize that this is something special in the dance world. So this is what we're working towards.
I'm excited.
And I have a lot more questions. Are you guys ready?
Go for it.
Let's get it.
Can you incorporate where people should purchase your style of clothing? So it's fashion tips.
Oh,
Um,
George,
Yeah, I mean, I would say I normally tend to just save my money when so that when I go to Italy, I can buy a whole thing of luggage and just bring it back. But I will say that recently, I've been very fortunate to connect with an amazing company called Sebastian Cruz Couture. So I have a lot of their clothes, and I definitely feel like my style has changed ever since I connected with them. I'm definitely back into the really elegant suits and stuff like that, which I enjoy. Something I always enjoyed in the past. But definitely, I think when it comes to like certain articles and items, when I go to Italy, I love their pants, I love their shirts and stuff like that. So that's that. And then I just try and always find websites that are just kind of like you got it's trial and error. You have to order one piece and see the quality, and then from there you build it up. So if it's not an Amazon for certain little things here and there, it's little. I have a list of websites online that I've tested throughout the years. For certain things, pants, shirts, etc. I will say this: I don't, and this is nothing against Zara. Zara, I love you, but I haven't been to you in a while because I've had situations where I buy something from you and everyone in a festival is wearing the same exact thing. That makes me feel uncomfortable. So I avoid Zara as much as possible because everyone and their mothers shops there. So one, congrats Zara, but two, unless you can like do an Ataca line that's specific for me that no one else can have, I ain't gonna be returning anytime soon.
Yeah, I feel you. I also don't like to wear clothes that everyone has. So that makes sense. Troy waits patiently for Troy to say something funny. I'm over here changing diapers though. Congrats, Troy. We miss you. You and Farid on stage. That was amazing. Fun. Okay, guys, te amo. Saludos de todo el mundo. Um, Someone saying it was great meeting you in Los Angeles, and I would like to say you're so humble, great personality. Alemana can sure talk loud without a microphone.
That's
So
right.
Yeah, she can. She
I speak
projects.
from the diaphragm.
She projects.
I don't
okay,
even.
that's a very good skill actually for important for instructors, teachers. Are you coming to Warsaw? Of course, they're coming to Warsaw. They're coming
Of
to
course.
also.
That's what this is all about.
Yeah. Um, will we ever see your dog Pharaoh perform someday?
Have
Um,
you ever seen a dog before? That's just like
No,
shit.
but I
I
mean,
would I would
American.
say I would say it's not too far fetched. You like that? Far fetched? You like
Ah,
that?
Oh,
But you like that? You like that? But listen, I mean, me and Tanya do have a video of us dancing with him, so we'll post that for sure. Yeah, you never know. I mean, the thing is, me and Tanya have always talked about traveling with Pharaoh. It's just he's a pit bull and he's big. I
yeah.
mean, like big,
He's like 80
big.
pounds.
so so this has always been a goal and a desire for myself and Tanya is to be able to travel with our dog, but
mhm.
I couldn't control and she couldn't control, and I guess we could have controlled what we fed him at the beginning, but the reality is he ate, mom and dad fed him some really good
No,
food.
he ate very well.
No,
But
that's what
he
no,
ate
that's what
salmon and
that's what I'm saying.
chicken.
Eh,
Like we could have we
For
could
anybody,
we
I
could
think
have
our
we
dog.
could have easily fed him some other stuff and he probably wouldn't have gotten as big as he did, but he ate well. He ate really well. So one day, maybe Anya, one day we'll find a way to get him to Poland and we'll just bring him
why
because
not?
we'll see. We'll see.
Why not? It's like they say, a dog is like half of a baby. So I understand. I don't travel with my babies
For sure,
for
for
work.
sure.
Um, I have another question. You guys are role models, probably for a lot of people in the dance industry. Can you, like, if you were to give advice to the newcomers who want to get out there, which features of personality or which habits, have gotten you to where you are?
I think I think what's gotten us to where we are, professionally speaking, we take pride in our teaching abilities. We what I think our main goal was to be very, very good instructors, detailed instructors, instructors that for the majority of the students, they would understand the details and they actually learn the material. We didn't just want to teach for the sake of teaching and just some random thing that maybe didn't make sense or wasn't leadable, or, so we wanted to make it practical, but we wanted to be good communicators when it came to teaching. And then as far as the actual personality, I mean, I don't think that's something you can just, I mean, you can enhance the personality that you have, and you maybe might be able to adjust some things, but I don't think you can change your personality. And I think for George, myself, Rudy, Bianca, we are all in our own way outgoing. I feel we're charming. I feel we're empathetic. And that helps us in our teaching as well as in our performing and just the interaction with other human beings, especially at the events. I think people can relate to us. They feel comfortable with us, and we're nice people. So I am tooting our own horn. We're very nice people, and we yeah we make I think we make people feel comfortable. So I'm not saying that's what you need in order to be successful, but it helps to be.
Actually, someone, Julian, is commenting the work ethic of Ataca Alemana is something to learn. They work hard and are always creating something. Love you guys.
Thank you.
I mean, I think, myself and Tanya are obviously very blessed to not only have each other as dance partners and just a unit. We're a unit, but Tigre and Bianca they seal the deal for us. Like, I think what people have to understand is, like, you can't do this alone. You know what I'm saying? And when we travel, we really use each other. The reason why we were able to be so successful during pandemic is because the four of us were together. Through the bad and the good. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's been like that since day one. When we have bad days, we talk to Rudy. When Rudy has a bad day, he talks to us. When Bianca's having, like, Tanya, like, it's always been an amazing unit. So I think that, each of our personalities obviously come out in those situations, but keeping each other positive, keeping each other motivated. And if there's one thing that we've always strived, and again, not to toot our own horn, is we've been hungry. Like, Island Touch has just been hungry to grow, to innovate, to change lives and to touch the world is obviously what we say. It's our slogan. So, I think that the four of us, and our strong personalities put together, has really been able to, allowed us to thrive and do well and enjoy the process. So I think that's always been super important for us is, if we're going to do this for a long time, let's have some fun doing it. Let's meet some amazing people. Let's have some fun doing it. And there's no better crew that I'd want to be around than with these individuals. And that's why we love what we do. And that's why we work as hard as we work.
So your team, the Island Touch team, is it an events team, instructors team? What's your connection? Like, when you're not just Ataca Alemana traveling to Europe?
We're friends too.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're friends, we're family, we're everything.
Someone asked how you met El Tigre. I had a question here.
So I actually met Tigre in Tampa, Florida, when I was first starting to dance. He was a local social dancer. And then, when I graduated, I was teaching at a local dance studio here in Tampa, Florida. And, we saw each other at a social. We were just talking about business. And I told him that, I was looking for another job, a side job, just to make some extra money because I really wanted to devote myself into dance. And he brought me in to work for him at a mortgage company. I started doing that with him for 6 months. Throughout those 6 months, him and I built up a really strong friendship because obviously we're taking classes together. I'm his instructor, yada, yada. And then from there, the market crashed and he, brought me into his office and he's like, hey, why don't we start up a dance company? And I was like, I don't think we have a choice. So we did that. And then shortly thereafter, when I was looking for a partner, I met Tanya. And Tanya was also looking for a partner as well. And then she had the knowledge and the skill and the expertise to, run her own dance studio. She had been a part of a dance studio for various years prior. So we went out. We were like, hey, you want to join the squad? and we made her a partner, and that was it. The trio was established, and that's
Mhm.
how all of that worked out.
So how old were you guys when that happened?
Man, I think
This was 2008. So I was 22. I was
So
yeah, I was
was it like
22.
a
23.
begin? So was it like a beginning of your professional life?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh yeah,
So
oh
you're
yeah.
always
We
in this. It's not like
yeah,
you worked for some corporate and then, aside from what you said, and then you switched.
Yeah, I mean, we had some. I used to do insurance, but that was
Mm-hmm.
from like age 17 to 19, and then I found
Mm-hmm.
dance, and that was it. So I've been dancing since I was 20.
Mm-hmm.
for sure.
But you, Jorge, you have this really strong business mind. Even in your communication, sometimes you can be like a little harsh, and it's everything is like really, has to be organized. It freaks me out sometimes, but I'm a business person, so I breathe out, and I can deal with this. But I think you have this intuitive business skill, right? To
Yeah,
make a business.
I
I don't know
I've
where you
always
learned it. Maybe it's American. I don't know.
I mean, look, I would say I've always considered myself to just to be a real, as far as communication, full transparency, full honesty. You're gonna get the real me. You know what I'm saying? And if we're in a business, let's have a business conversation. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like and I think the reason why some people feel that way is because I give them so much respect that I feel like I
Mhm.
can go at them. So if ever you feel me come at you like that, it's because I carry the utmost respect for you
Okay.
as a business person, where I'm like, I know you understand me. I know you and I can make this happen, right? So I
Okay.
think that's kind of why, like, because
That's
trust me,
how I'm trying to read this. That's I'm
yeah,
trying.
yeah, 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 yeah. And
I'm so glad you said that because usually people are like, Tanya, you're the intimidating one. George is the nice one. I'm like,
He intimidates me totally. Like, ooh. I'm like, ooh.
yeah, I mean, I would say like, yeah, I come from a business background. I went to college for that. I started my own business while I was in college. I did a lot of different things that people weren't doing. I was always motivated to innovate and do something different, and be exposed to different forms of business. But I will say I think Tigre really established, that on me as well, because, you know, we, Tanya and myself, had to learn from an early age. Because myself and Tanya, when we first started, we were, I don't want to say unfortunately, but we were a part of a lot of different terminology and speaking and the way of thinking in the dance world that wasn't long term thinking. There was a lot of, oh, don't record me after a class, don't post me, and we learned this for so long, and then when we get Rudy Tigre, he's like, why wouldn't you do that? That's free publicity, and obviously Tigre is a marketing major, so we learned so many things about how we can still be business
Mhm.
and still be all about 100% for the dance world. So I think that's why, and it could be, Anya, like maybe people aren't used to other artists, being so business thoughtful, in a sense, because I want to do this for a really long time, and I want and I'm speaking personally, I want dance and our company to provide for Alemana, to provide for Tigre, to provide for me, to provide for Bianca. And I think that's why we're all super passionate about what we do. Like, we just care. You know what I'm saying? That's it.
Mhm. No, it's very educating. And I wanted you to say it out loud because as business owners, we struggle a lot of the times. Why are you charging so much money? Or I get this question, for instance, why is like when someone buys a VIP pass, for instance, why is it expensive if they're just one person and they're not going to be in the three floors at the same time? So why do they have to pay so much? And then I'm like, okay, it's a good point, but it's because it is a business. It's a product that's very
exactly.
exclusive.
It makes no
It's
sense for
it's
them to say something like that. You're trying to buy a VIP pass. When has VIP ever been cheap? Number one. And if
Yeah,
you're only going to do one class, then buy a full pass. There are
yeah,
other options. If you want VIP service, if you want a Rolex, you're not going to Rolex and be like, why is it so expensive? Because
exactly.
what the price is. You can either pay it or you don't. Yeah,
Yeah,
that made no sense. I'm sorry.
yeah,
Whoever
because
said that, I'm
yeah,
yeah,
but and it's also because if we didn't have customers, then we would be thinking, or should we lower the price? What is it wrong that we're doing? But because we have masses, we can afford to do this. It's like a Mercedes or BMW, right? It's not everyone has to buy this, but sometimes, especially as a woman, I've been running my own company now for 7 years. Before then, I had a partner, but when I went on my own, I started to get these. I had to answer to this in my head. Okay, how do I answer this? That's rational and understandable to people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, what did you want to say, Jorge? Because I interrupted
Yeah,
you.
yeah. I mean, I think people just have to kind of be a little bit of be realistic here. And I think if anyone comes at you like that, it's just because they're probably just not capable of doing that and are envious of those that are. The reality is, like anything, a menu in a restaurant, there are various selections. You, as a thriving business and dance festival, have to provide packages, and not all the packages can be the same. So, standard business, this package has a lot to offer, and you're just putting a title on it: platinum, gold, silver. But in a sense, it is a source of VIP.
Mhm.
But I get it.
Yeah. I'm gonna do a platinum VIP pass for next year. That includes the concert and everything. And then it's gonna be the VIP without the concert, and
I like that.
it's a lot to play around. We had here Pierre commenting on Facebook. You guys have managed to create your own style while staying true to the essence of bachata. What advice would you give to the other artists who are trying to create their own styles?
Stay true to yourself. I think it's just stay true. Like there's one thing that I mean. Look, the reality is myself and Tanya has always been said one thing, right? We're bachateros, and we want to create a style that I could dance to any song, any bachata song. So the reality is we have to create a style that is adaptable to all those styles. That's what true meant for us. That was our style. That was us being true to ourselves. So I think that's why we've been able to kind of stay motivated and strong, knowing that we've created a style and we want to stick to that. One, because we enjoy it, we love it, we've devoted a lot of time and knowledge towards it. So there's no need for me to change it. Now dance is an evolution. We are all evolving. We're all adding a bunch of different things. But I would say, if anything, to answer Pierre's question, every once in a while we just gotta take a step back. What is it called? Memory lane, Tanya. A trip down memory lane.
Oh yeah.
And every once in a while, you have to kind of remind yourself as to where you came from and where you're at now, and never lose focus of the essence. Trust me, I look at Testrano all the time, and even though that routine is hard for me to watch because of my level of dance at that point, I have to be reminded for what we accomplished with that routine. And that's why I'm always grabbing stuff from that routine and putting into what we do now. Always, always, always.
Someone is asking how old are you guys now? I don't know if I can answer that. I mean,
I'm young.
The number. I'm
Okay.
36, but I feel
Uh-huh.
like I'm 21. So
Mhm.
I'm gonna live forever.
I'm 37 and I can hang with all y'all youngins. All y'all youngins can't hang with me.
Someone was trying to place this, like understand how old you were when you started and how old you are now. Just
Yeah.
to see. I had a question for Tanya. Fashion tips, Tanya. Where do you? Yeah,
You got
fashion.
it, boo. Come on.
I mean fashion tips. I wouldn't call them fashion tips. I mean, I shop at stores where I feel like the clothes are gonna fit my body the best and make me feel good. I think that's really important when it comes to clothing. Wear the stuff that makes you feel good. Whatever it is. If you like wearing pants, wear pants. If you like wearing dresses, wear dresses. I do, however, use Pinterest for myself to put outfits together because I have a lot of stuff, but my brain just it's overwhelming for me. So I'll go on Pinterest and I'll say, okay, black leather pant outfits, and then all those things come up, and then I'm like, oh, I got this in the closet, and then I'll just put that outfit together. So it's like I'm very
Oh,
like I try to be very efficient and very practical. That's the type of person I am. So I'm like, I don't have the bandwidth to try to worry about this outfit and put this together and try on 5 different things to figure out what looks good. I'm gonna put it into an app. That's the outfit. I got those items. I'm gonna wear that out the door. I'm very I try to be as efficient as possible.
I think my 13-year-old daughter does this. I haven't tried this yet. It's a good
Very
styling
smart.
tip. Does reaching success and how you handle all the fame and recognition you have received. Does reaching success scare you? I think because it's unclear or change you or.
It shouldn't. We've had that question before, and I think fame, money, all that stuff should never change a person. I feel it enhances who you already are, and it just brings that side out. So if you are naturally, originally a humble person and a grateful person, fame, money, none of that should change that. That just enhances that more for you. If you are a more egotistical, arrogant person, you've been able to hide it, but now fame comes into the picture and you're popular or you have money, that definitely will highlight it more because at that point you're going to feel more comfortable to be your authentic self, which would be an arrogant person. So I don't think fame changes people. And for us, because of the people that we are and how we were raised, um, fame, to whatever sense of the word that is in our community, it hasn't changed who we are.
For sure.
Hmm. Someone is saying, I used to think that Tanya was the only friendly one, but now I realize how friendly they both are, Jorge.
Yes.
We got this question. We actually got this question. Well, we get this question very often, and it's a really interesting encounter when these individuals come up, and then they just start asking us a question, and we start talking to them, and then they stop. They're like, "Wow." And I'm telling you, Anya, this is literally, this statement has been said so many times. It's just we would have a lot of money if we charged for every time someone said this. They're like, "Wow, you guys are actually really nice. I thought you guys were super stuck up and like assholes." And then Tanya obviously always answers like, "Well, we're not." So now you know.
Well, now you
But
know. Don't know who you
and
make contact with, but
and I think that's what it comes down to. It's like, look, I get it. Maybe some people are like that, but it just don't judge a book by its cover. I think the
Yeah,
reality is for
people,
us.
people fantasize, kind of about someone who is a public figure, has access to a lot of people that it's a certain kind of projection, because yeah, I get that too.
For sure.
And if you could teach any celebrity some bachata dancing and perform, who would that be? Alemana and Beyonce collab, Attack and Drake.
yeah, I think they've answered it. Beyonce would be the one. Yes.
I
Beyonce, Tommy.
I no
That's going.
no BS, no BS. I thought about this and I was like, I would love to take all the dopest bald men in the industry and teach them bachata and do a challenge routine. I want The Rock. I want
So wrong.
Channing Tatum when he was bald. Statham. Let's put Statham in there. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's put all the dope bald men in there, and then just listen. If I gotta, I could connect with all of them. You know what I'm saying? I could hit up The Rock and be like, yo, tell Tyrese, and just be like, come through, and just grab all the sexy bald men in the world, and let's just do a dope bachata routine.
have here comments sometimes, oh, no pueden hablar español, que diga algo en español. Would you like to say something in Spanish, Jorge, just to prove to people like you speak Spanish?
Saludos, mi gente. Lamentablemente esta entrevista lo decimos más en inglés porque la comunidad, hay una grande comunidad de ingleses, pero ya sabes que tenemos un cariño. Si hay una cosa que quiero que obtengas de esta entrevista es esto. Uno, te amamos. Dos, te vemos en el Sol Festival en Valsavia. Ok, so si quieres hablar conmigo español, ven al festival y vamos a hablar. Encuéntrame en la barra y vamos a
Look,
beber
look
y
how his
conversar.
body language changed. Just like when you say, you started, okay,
Animated when you speak Spanish.
yeah, it's amazing. Okay, guys, we have to slowly wrap up because Jorge has a private, and there's yeah, the day continues. But it's people are still asking questions. Trevor from UK, you may have already covered this. Some of your YouTube videos with Grupo Extra are just amazing. What's the connection? How did you come about it?
Oh, well, with
Oh, yeah.
Prefecture, we met them back in 2010 at the Paris Bachata Festival. That was actually the first time we connected with them. And we've been in contact with them ever since. Rudy has definitely built a relationship with the manager, Fidel. They're very similar people. So I think that's how they really connected. So and we became friends, and we saw each other in passing at different festivals whenever they were hired to do concerts. We always hung out. We got to see each other. We built a rapport. We built a friendship, really. And in the end, when it came to the music part of it, Rudy had suggested to George and myself, like, hey, you guys are really popular. Like, why don't you just try singing a bachata song? And both George and myself were like,
Mhm.
bro, we can't sing. Like, this is crazy. Nobody's going to want to listen to it. And I sing in the shower. That's about it. And he's like, no, it doesn't matter if you got good voices. Like, just put it out there. Your fans would love it. So we went back and forth, and we talked to some other artists that unfortunately didn't pan out. But Grupo, the first artist that was Kevin Cosmos, who gave us a chance, and he put us on the track Calma. So we sang with that. And then Fidel, the manager of Grupo Extra, heard the song. He's like, oh, they can actually sing. All right. So that's when everything started. And we put the whole album together literally in like a week. I think we went to the DR in, what is it, 2019 in December, and we put the whole thing together. And we've been very, very fortunate. They've helped us a lot throughout the process. We learned a lot about the just maybe not the industry itself, but the artistry of it and what it takes to really put these songs together, because they write the majority of their songs. So yeah, it was a really fun experience, but that's how it started.
But did you sing before, or did you have to train yourself how to sing?
We
Because you
had
said,
some
yeah,
exercise.
yeah.
We had
Uh-huh.
some exercises, but that's about it. Like neither George, myself, Rudy did sing, I think, in a choir back in when he was a
Hmm.
child. But actual singing, I personally would not consider myself a singer, because that takes work and there's a respect behind that art. And I sing. I wouldn't call myself a singer because that's not where my focus is. That is not what I practice every day. And I want to respect those that do that for a living or
For
strive
sure.
to do it
Yeah,
for a living.
yeah. I mean, when it came to the Calma thing, basically, Tigre and Fidel were actually already in the communication about doing the album while we did Calma. So literally, as soon as we did Calma, Fidel was like, "Oh, perfect. They're ready. Let's go." Because he was like, and Kelvin obviously was really great with helping us out and just kind of giving us some guidance. So that just helped Fidel feel comfortable and say like, "Hey, they got the first one out of the system. Now they're ready." And thank God we did that because Fidel and Grupo Extra are really serious about their craft. That's why we say all the time they're the number one bachata, group in the planet, like in the world right now. You can't deny it. It is what it is. And they're serious about the craft. And we felt that energy, and it was motivating to be a part of such a beautiful project. It was, challenging for sure, but at the bottom, at the end of the day, I think we did something really special, Island Touch and Group Worship together.
Yeah, it's amazing, but it's also amazing you guys are exposed to so much, as artists, and also being in the US. Like, imagine you live in Estonia. I don't know, you wouldn't be able to, to have so much inspiration because from what I hear, the encounters, you're here, you're there. It's one thing leads to another. So I guess it's good to put yourself out there,
For sure.
right? To get the connections. Thank you. It's been amazing. There is more comments, but you guys are gonna have to let them. We're gonna have to let them go. One final one, Tanya. I get what you mean on giving respect to the art of singing, but you did that, baby girl. That song was so hot. Ataca,
Aw,
you guys rock.
thank you. That's very sweet. Appreciate it.
Well, Anya, you rock, and honestly, we're super super excited to be back. It's been a long time coming. There's one event that we've been excited to attend after obviously such a long break and pandemic has definitely been your event. So number one, thank you for continuing to believe in myself and Alemana and Island Touch. We're really excited to be there. We got, we love the show that we're doing right now. And we know that the public's going to really enjoy it as well. So we're just looking forward to it. So
I
everyone,
love you guys.
buy your
Very
tickets.
excited to have you. Yes. So guys, November 11th to 13th, we're gonna party and get inspired like always, and great company. So
Yes.
thank you for your time, and let's keep in touch.
All right,
Tanya
guys.
and Jorge.
Bye.
Okay, here ending.